Hari Om. Start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitatvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Deva Deva. Hari Om. Now we are looking at the meditation slokas of the Vivek Chudamani. Start from the 255. Almost 10 slokas are devoted to the meditation. Meditation means contemplation in the direction that's being pointed out after discussing the Tattvamasi statement of the Chandogya Upanishad. The teacher is trying to point out, now we understand what is being pointed out in the Tattvamasi. Now I have to sit in the seat of meditation, contemplate on this. This is a meditation after knowing the Tattvamasi statement and inquiring. So this inquiry, the meditation is now intellectual inquiry by negating and recognizing the truth that is being pointed out by that. So it says Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani is being repeated, and this is Bhava Atmani, Atmani Bhavaya. So it is essentially one has to feel that that is I am. Why? Rejecting what I am not and claiming what I am. So Aham Brahmasmi, a self-realization is claiming myself what I am only, not something going somewhere and going all that. Because it says essentially, Deshakala Vishayati Vartayetu. All that which are limited by the space, time and all that, I am not that. So moksha, liberation is not going somewhere or doing something. Because going somewhere means it's not here, there I have to go somewhere else. And for that action is required. So that means it is not here, therefore it is limited. It should be everywhere, and everywhere means it should be right here. So I don't have to go anywhere, I don't have to do anything, because if I have to do, then action is required, and action itself is limited. The result of action again gets limited. Therefore, moksha has to be desakala vastu aparichinnatvam, which is not limited by any spatially or time-wise or object-wise. It should be homogeneous consciousness which is existent and which is infinite or limitless, because anantameva anandam, limitless alone is ananda, and to be recognized by atmani. Here atmani stands for in the buddhi only. I am not the buddhi, has to be recognized in the buddhi only, because I take myself because of the reflected consciousness. Buddhi has become as though activated as a conscious entity. So using the same buddhi, I have to recognize that I am not the buddhi, because buddhi is only an instrument and buddhi is inert, and I am that which is enlivening the buddhi, but I am the enlivening factor or the one that enlivens all this, not only this buddhi but everything else also. That has to be understood by the buddhi, because it is in the buddhi only the ajnanam is there. Jnanam has to come by vritti jnanam. Vritti ajnanam has to be removed. How do you know ajnanam is vritti? Because I know that I am ignorant. Are you Brahman? So if you ask everybody after listening to many years of Vedanta, if you ask them how many have realized that you are Brahman, nobody will raise their hand. Why? Because they say, I still have to realize. What do you have to realize? Realize that I had to realize something itself is a blocking, because I had to claim myself what I am already. It's not that I am going to gain something, because it's beyond the space, time and object wise. Therefore, Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani, Atmani Bhavaya. One has to recognize. Bhavaya is meditation. Meditation means it's a claiming myself, I am that, using the very cognitively, knowing that I am that consciousness that enlivens the buddhi also. And even to say that I am Brahmasmi, I need the buddhi only. So buddhi, it's not beyond the buddhi. Using the buddhi, I had to know that I am not the buddhi and I am that which enlivens the buddhi, and that is pure consciousness, because buddhi otherwise is inert. So Bhavayatmani. So Bhavayatmani is essentially, so Swarupa Anusandhanam is what is essentially required. I am claiming, Anusandhanam is, I am trying to claim myself, my own nature. That's what Swarupa Anusandhanam. Previously it has defined what is Bhakti. Bhakti has defined as, in the Vivekachudamani, it says, the moksha sadhana samagyam bhaktire vakariyasi. So swarupanusandhanam bhaktirich abhidhiyate. So what is bhakti as defined? Bhakti is not some devotee and deity duality. That duality is only is required until I understand even the duality itself is only a projection of one total which is beyond the duality. Therefore it is Advaitam. Advaitam is duality. It is that which supports the duality but different from the duality, but pervades the duality. All difference is only superficial. Therefore that is alone is real, has to be understood. Therefore, Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani, I had to, by contemplatively, I had to recognize, using the Vedanta Vichara, rejecting what I am not and claiming what I am. That's what essentially involved, and that is what is called bhakti, because this Swarupa Anusandhanam Bhaktirich Abhidhiyate. So that is what is called bhakti. It's defined in that. Bhakti is not doing upasana and all that comes under upasana yoga. In the bhakti, the devotee and deity has to become one, and that is the very culmination of bhakti, and that's what Krishna says, that Jnani alone is the supreme bhakta. So the other ones is Jignasu is the next level, and the Artho, Artharthi, the one who is crying for, oh Lord help me, and all that every day going to the temple and crying for hours and hours. He is not bhakti. He is only lower level, where he doesn't want God. He wants something else from God only. So God is only a means love. God is a means to get something else other than what he wants. He doesn't have it. So that's why we go and pray, please give me that, give me health, give me that wealth, all those things. So he is bhakti for health and wealth and all that, not bhakti for the Lord. So bhakti for the Lord is to know what is the Lord, that is Jignasu, and claiming that ultimately I am the totality itself, where the bhakta, the devotee and the deity, the Lord has become one, and that is supreme bhakti, even according to the Krishna. That's called Jnani, is called the highest bhakta. And therefore, Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. So, Atmani Bhavayami. And that itself becomes a bhakti. And that itself becomes a jnanam. And that itself is a meditation. All are implied in these slokas also. So, we'll go to the next sloka, 256. Yat param sakala vaga gocharam. Yat param sakala vaga gocharam. Gocharam bimala bodha chakshushaha. Gocharam bimala bodha chakshushaha. Suddha chid ganamanadi vastu yat. Suddha chid ganamanadi vastu yat. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmana. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. So yat param sakala vaga gocharam. So Brahma tattvamasi is the same line in almost all the slokas that come. So yat param sakala vaga gocharam. So that which is param, supreme, that is beyond. So all are beyond means beyond any nama rupa desa kala vastu parichinnatvam. So any differentiation, distinction, all only names and forms that go beyond. Beyond is not somewhere else. It is that in and through nama rupa I have to recognize that which is beyond nama rupa. So every object has to exist, and the existence itself is beyond the name and the form. So param is that which is beyond the limitations, and the limitations are related to desha, kala and vastu. So it's spatially limited, time-wise limited, object-wise limited. So it is limitless in all objects that should be same, and it is beyond the space, because even the space is also exists also. So the very existence because of which space is, object is, and everything is. So anything that I see has to exist, and therefore the idea of this meditation is not closing your eyes and doing something. That means when I say closing my eyes, it is not out there, it's only inside. It is out there inside. You may help to close your eyes because it doesn't get dissipated. That's all the purpose of closing eyes is. But even opening eyes, you have to see ultimately it is in every object. There is an existence is pervading that. That's I am. That's what is the Brahman is. So yat param sakala vag agocharam. So sakala vag agocharam. So it is beyond the eyes and the vag. So I cannot describe it. Any description is possible only for the finite things. So one Shishya went to a teacher, "Sir, I want to know Brahman," and he was asking so many questions, but the teacher was keeping quiet. So at last the student gets frustrated. "Sir, I am asking so many questions, you are not responding." The teacher said, "I am answering, but you are not understanding it, because it is beyond the words. It is that which is beyond, but we cannot understand." That's why a lot of people went to Ramana Maharshi, and he says, you have to learn in silence. So if I can learn in silence, why do I have to go to Ramana Maharshi? I should be able to sit and learn by being silent. But to know what exactly the silence means, is all the things that I see should be silence. That means I have to reject it, because I cannot but see the plurality, but I have to reject the plurality and see the substantive that is behind this plurality, because that's what counts. Everything else is only name and a form. So yat param sakala vak agocharam. It cannot be seen by eyes, or it cannot be described by the speech also. So navak and navak, not speech also. So navak gacchati, nam manaha. So neither speech can go there and mind can go there. So mind cannot go there means what? It is not an objectifiable entity. Normally the mind is only sees things that are of difference. I am seeing this, I am seeing this. So mind is only, the senses are only going superficially outside. Outside means outwardly. That means only picking up the sabda sparsa rupa rasa gandhas. That means the 5 sense objects that are some qualities of the object I am gathering only. But I am not able to see the substantive of any object, because I don't perceive. The senses are not capable enough to see the essence of any object. And the essence of any object is also agocharam. That's what he's saying here. Sakala vak agocharam. It is not something to see, but something to understand. And therefore, in and through what I see, I had to understand. They say, yat chakshushana pasyati, yena chakshum sivasyati, tadeva brahma tvam viddhi, nedam edidam upasate. Yasrautrena nasrunoti, yena sotram idam srutam, tadeva brahma tvam viddhi, nedam edidam upasate. This is repeated 5 times in the Upanishad. It says, it is not that what eyes can see, because eyes can only see forms and colors, but that because of which eyes can see, that because of which eyes can see, or ears can hear, that because of the very essence of that is because without the locus, the form cannot exist, but the locus cannot be seen. At the same time, only form and colors are seen. Therefore, without the locus, I have to infer there must be something. And what is the very essence of every object? Oh, object is, this is iron and there is nickel and all that. Even iron, nickel, what is the essence of it? From the science point, we know that they are fundamental particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, that I don't see. From the point of electrons, protons, the iron is the same and gold is the same. So all distinctions disappear because they are all superficial. How the electrons, protons are packaged only, you get different type of properties. But what is the essential properties of the electrons, protons, I cannot see. And therefore, but this is even the electron, proton, neutron. This is a very consciousness, because of which consciousness existence which is infinite. So it's not a finite particle for me to see or its effect through banging the particles. It is beyond everything also. And therefore, sakala vak agocharam. But gocharam vimalabodha chakshushaha. But it can be seen. It is not a seeable thing, but here it can be seen, provided vimalabodha chakshushaha, by the eyes or by the vision here, not necessarily eyes, even though use chakshushaha, by the vision of purified vision. Purified vision means by intellectually I can see, that called jnana chakshu. Lord Shiva has jnana chakshu. That's what symbolism of Lord Shiva is, the third eye. Third eye stands for, it is the jnana chakshu, because he is a Dakshinamurthy, is always meditating and facing towards the south. Dakshinamurthy means he is facing towards the south. Why? Because these sishyas are facing towards the north. North is symbolism of higher, so they are towards higher. He is coming down to the level, therefore, to teach the students or to teach the sishyas. Therefore, he is coming down and looking southward, where the students are opposite and looking northward, and going northward is higher. We always put north in the top and south in the bottom. If you go to Australia, they put the maps which is upside down, saying that the world right way to see, because Australia on the top and Asia on the bottom. Why? They have a logic also, because the water is on the top and the bottom should be a lot of land. So Asia and everything, all lot of land there, and Australia and mostly water there, and therefore water should be on the top and the bottom should be. People have put the world in wrong way, and that's all the correct way. So that's what is the interesting picture of the world map. But here the Uttaram, this is that which is above and looking towards the Uttarayanam. That's what called Uttarayanam. Lord is now, sun is going towards the Uttarayanam, and this is supposed to be direction towards the moksha also. That's why Bhishma, after when he was killed, he was at that time Dakshinamurthy, he was kept his life alive until the Uttarayanam, until after Sankranti. Uttarayanam is after Sankranti is where sun starts moving upwards from the south. So right now the south was cold, and now the south was hot because sun was there, and the north was cold. Now we go the other way around. So anyway. Yat param sakala vak gocharam vimala bodha chakshusha. So I have to develop the jnana chakshu. Jnana chakshu is nothing but viveka. That means a discriminative intellect, a sukshma buddhi that we discussed, not the tikshna buddhi that's required in the objective sciences. Tikshna buddhi cuts across and differentiates and distinguishes smaller and smaller and smaller. You are becoming a super specialization of smaller entity because of tikshna buddhi, because it's a very deceptive, differentiative. But here I am trying to be integrative. So it's not the analytical mind, it is a synthetic mind, that which synthesizes and sees oneness that pervades everything. That's why in the hierarchy there is only one president or one head, and there's a branches all over, and as you go they are differentiating, and each fellow thinks this is my field, and you are encroaching my field. They are all fighting there. But from the point of the one who sees the whole thing there, you think everything is mine only. From that point, he wants to see the integration of the whole thing, so that everybody works for one and towards the highest goal. And that's what essentially we are talking about. Gocharam vimala bodha chakshuha. So it is the tree upside down. Trees, the roots are bottom normally, and branches are going out. That's why urdhva moolamada shakam asvattam prahuravyayam. This samsara tree is inverted tree, where the moolam, the support is coming from higher, and that is from the Lord itself. And gocharam vimala bodha. And how do I cut the tree, samsara tree? This is asanga shastrena, by a detachment weapon. That means I had to get detached by not this, not this, not this. I can say not this only when I can detach myself. So I can detach, say I am not the world. It's very easy to say. But when it comes to the body, mind and intellect, all my relationships, it is not mine. is extremely difficult detachment. Now we are talking about detachment at the subtlest level, and that's what the whole problem of Arjuna also, because he is not able to detach himself from his Guru Nahatvan Mahan Bhavan. So how can I kill these teachers and all that who are facing me? And that was his attachment problem. So you have to get detached for that, and that is what is called Jnana Chakshu. Gocharam Vivala Bodha Chakshuha Suddha Chit Ghanam Anadi Vastu Yatu. It Chit Ghanam, it is pure consciousness only. So anything inert cannot be real. Anything that is objectifiable cannot be real. But what is that because of which I am able to see the objectify, even object is within my consciousness, because I am able to see the consciousness that I am, have to join the existence of the object for me to be conscious of the existence of the object. That's what is knowledge is. And therefore in every knowledge, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, in every knowledge the consciousness is there, because I know this, I know that, I know that. So every object I see, therefore I know it. Therefore knowing is seeing is knowing, and knowing means it is in my consciousness. That means the consciousness has to as though pervade the existence of the object for me to be conscious of the existence of the object. I told it fast, but if I say I am conscious of the object, it means I know this object. That means the consciousness that I am and existence which is inert as the object has to be pervaded by my consciousness for me to be conscious of the existence of any object which is inert. And that's what is essentially Suddha Chit Ghanam. It is pure consciousness, because that's what scripture says. It is the Jnanam Brahma. Consciousness is limitless, and that's what is the Chit Ghanam. Anadi, there is no beginning for it, because it is infinite. Infinite cannot have any beginning and end. And Anadi Vastu. Vastu means that which is Vasati. Everything is rests in it, but itself is beyond anything to rest. And Vastu Yatu. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Recognize that I am that Brahman. Tattvamasi, you are that Brahman. This is a teaching instruction. Therefore, I am that Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. That Bhavayatmani has to be recognized by the intellectual. So therefore a meditation is now prescribed in a way that I had to see in and through by inquiring, this is in fact I am. So it is a claiming myself what I am by rejecting what I am not as I am. That's what is whole samsara is. Whole realization is recognition or reanalyzation or realization of my own true nature. We'll continue this in the next talk. This we stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.